Clinch State Park, and it's a little bit cold today. This park does not allow you to use drones, so I thought we would take the one wheel out and show you what this park is all about. I believe that there are 63 total camping sites between two different parks, one being the Atlantic Park and the other being the River Park. So as long as I don't get too cold, we'll show you what all this is about. As you come into the park, the first thing that you see on the left is the Lighthouse lookout. So I haven't been here yet, so let's stop in and see what this little spot looks like. So kind of like overlooks this marsh land, and you can see the lighthouse in the distance, as well as a good shot of that refinery. I'm not for sure that I would add this to my list of scenic overlook stops across the United States, so I'd probably continue. All right, here's our first split. So we come up with the Atlantic Campground on the right, sites 1 through 21 and sites A through F. Right here, if you go straight, will be the Amelia River Campground, which is where we're staying, sites 22 through 63. Okay, I'm getting too cold. I can't feel my feet. I think it's time to turn the thermostat up. Okay, now that's a lot better. I can handle this. Let's continue and finish this tour out. Right here we have beach access for swimming and for the bird exhibit.
Now it's over. You need to catch up today.
Sprayed throughout the entire park also are a number of bike crossings, so a lot of mountain bike trails which meander right off of the main path. And throughout the day I saw a lot of bikers utilizing these facilities. So you take a right now for the historic Fort Visitor Center and the Amelia River Campground. And you can see now with this vegetation over the top of the road, it takes on its own personality from the other side of the park. A number of nature trails are sprayed throughout the entire park. As you can see behind me here is the Willow Pond Nature Trail with a willow loop of 25 minutes and a magnolia loop of 45 minutes, unless you have a 5 and an 8-year-old. Multiply that times 3.5. And most of the trails are shared use trails, so that means hiking and mountain biking occurring simultaneously. So as we come up to our turnoff, the option to go to the River Campground to the left or stay right to Fort Clinch. So we'll stay to the right and we'll head down to Fort Clinch. Fort Clinch requires a $2.50 admission fee. We, however, failed and did not visit the fort on this trip, but we did purchase firewood inside at the visitor center. So the Amelia River Campground. Take a right from Fort Clinch. It seems to me that the campsite on the left will handle larger units than on the right side of the loop. As we come in, here's the dump station. You can see all the vegetation around these campsites and then contrast that with the Atlantic Campground. Then we come up on number 26, our campsite, with a great space that we have enjoyed evenings outside around a campfire. So let's finish this loop off. Let me show you what's at the end of it. Right after the continuation of this loop, if you go straight, is a dead end, but it's one of the most magnificent sunsets you will see, period. It's a beautiful sight. And I don't mess around in this water very much from what I understand. It is very sharky. So I talked about kiteboarding maybe this river, and I was told it is a horrible idea by other kiters that knew what they were talking about. So I think I will follow their direction. And the other side of the loop here, some of these sites are a little bit smaller, as you can tell, and the road is definitely a little less developed. And that completes our loop. So it comes right back out close to the dump site. And you have got to say that Fort Clinch State Park is almost an oasis in itself. You could spend days here and never get bored. Issues are probably availability more than anything else. Highly recommend Fort Clinch State Park for camping and spending some time with family. But here we are again, back to number 26, our campsite, which is right across the road from all the facilities. What happened here? So last night while we were outside enjoying the weather, all of a sudden a rainstorm came down. I had the awning completely out when the rainstorm came. After a little while and the rain stopped, I went to go close the awning, and unfortunately we closed it once and we went to open it again. The awning would not open on this arm right here. So this arm would stay in and the other side arm would come out. So now we got to try to address that. I called Tiffin. They said just give it a yank. So we're gonna put the ladder up, have Stacy push the extend button, and see if just giving it a good old yank fixes the issue, because right now we are off track. Oh, up. Okay. All right, so that worked. First mission accomplished. We actually did it ourselves. Just a little yank. Sometimes all you gotta do is just give it a yank. Well, we just finished going downtown at Fernandina Beach on Amelia Island.
And it was really good. It has a great downtown area. At night, has wonderfully lit streets with Christmas lights, decorated Christmas trees. It has a really cool little visitor center that had lots of good information and ideas of different things to do.
Look like some good restaurants. Maybe spend an hour or two downtown while you're on Amelia Island. It's worth your time. Outside of that, we were able to do Fort Clinch State Park. Our big failure there was we didn't even actually visit Fort Clinch within the state park.
Yeah, and there are also lots of trails that we could have done some exploring on that we're not going to have a chance to do.
Yeah, and the number one mistake that we're making early on, I would say, is that we are not staying long enough on location. So we only spent 3 nights here on Amelia Island. It could have easily been
6 or 7 nights.
Yeah, exactly. 6 or 7 nights, close to a week, would have been perfect and ideal, because really now we're relying on good weather, which today was rainy and overcast. And so we're not going to visit the fort this afternoon. We're going to go back to the RV, clean things up, and get ready to head out tomorrow to head further south into Florida.
Yeah, last night the rain came in early and everything is covered in mud and is soaked.
So we'll see you next time on OK and Beyond.